Hi everyone, let's continue with Rosie, Revere, Engineer. Chapter 12. Rosie woke early and hopped out of bed. The Blue River Creek Festival was one day away, and she still needed a working pump. Rosie went out. Iggy and Ada were already in the yard, the backyard, the garden, filling small jars with paint and water. They were doing an experiment to find the perfect mixture. If it's too thick, it won't flow through the tubes, said Ada. If it's too thin, it will drop off the canvas. Oh, when it hits the canvas, it will drop. It'll run down it because gravity will take effect. Rosie went to the patio to get a small table for the painter Balusa. A big blue bucket sat on the table. It was filled with plastic tubing and waterproof tape. Waterproof tape is such a good idea. Otherwise, if it's just normal tape, when the water touches it, it'll stop working. Thanks for getting this stuff, yelled Rosie to her friends. They were too busy to notice. As Rosie worked on the pump, Ada and Iggy experimented, and Gizmo chirped from the tree. Rosie attached thin metal curtain rods from the thrift shop. That's a shop where if you want to recycle things or resell things or give them away, you give them to a particular shop. And then if you want to buy things that have already been used before, you can go there. So it might be very good for the environment because you're reusing. It's called a thrift shop or a second-hand shop. So Rosie attached the thin metal curtain rods from the thin thrift shop to a giant pair of garden gloves. Curtain rods are these, right, that the curtain hangs on. Yep, it's called a curtain rod, R-O-D. Okay. She attached a giant pair of garden gloves. Then she added brushes. They were long enough to reach the edges of the canvas, I see. Next, she used strings and springs and other things to make a paint switcher so June could change colors while she worked. Now, you might want to stop the video now. I'll explain it again and see if you can sketch it. And then when we see it, see if you were similar, if this author described it well. So, stop the video, get everything organized, a piece of paper and a pencil, maybe even a ruler, and then I'll reread it. Okay, here we go. Rosie attached thin metal curtain rods from the thrift shop to a giant pair of garden gloves. Then she added the brushes. They were long enough to reach the edge of the canvas. The canvas is the paper it's canvas, but for drawing on. It's not paper, it's canvas. Next, she used strings, springs, and other things to make a paint switcher so June could change colors while she worked. Okay, so do your paint, try drawing that, and then keep it safe. So we're going to stop the video. Okay. Ada and Iggy made progress. After 2 hours, the team had the perfect paint formula and a working set of brush gloves. They had everything except the pump. Rosie was still worried. If she didn't come up with a pump, the Painter-Palooza would flop. The Artigo would be no-go. Remember, she's called it an Artigo. Rosie and her friends could not let that happen. They worked and worked. They tried this and that and the other thing. As the hours ticked away, so did Rosie's patience. Why don't we take a break, asked Ada. A timeout helps me think better. We need more paint, said Iggy. Let's go get some. You and Ada go, said Rosie, and I'll keep working. Ada and Iggy grabbed Rosie's wagon and headed to the Happy Sapling art store. It's a good idea to take this little wagon. I imagine one of them made that wagon too. Rosie looked around the yard. It was a mess. The grass was filled with puddles of paint because they'd been experimenting. She turned around and stepped right onto a bucket of blue paint. Swoop! Blue paint globbed all over her red shoes. Frustration boiled up inside Rosie. She wanted to throw the bucket and the paint-a-palooza into the trash can. "Ah!" shouted Rosie, and she kicked her foot to shake off the paint. Oh, let me stop and think what's going to happen, because she always said that problems often became solutions. I'm going to stop and think about that. Ooh. 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 Bless me. Rosie's shoe flew off and it soared through the air and smacked into the tree right next to Gizmo. Gizmo chirped angrily and flew off. "I'm sorry, Gizmo," yelled Rosie. Rosie chased the bird, leaving a trail of blue footprints as she went. But Gizmo was too fast. Halfway around the block, Rosie gave up. I'm feeling like there's a solution. She was frustrated and frazzled. She couldn't think straight, but that was exactly what she needed to do. "Stop and think," Rosie said. Rosie plopped down beneath the tree. She took a deep breath and tried to calm down. It helped. A little. "Ada was right," said Rosie. "I do need a break." Rosie got up and walked down the sidewalk, and as she walked, her anger faded like her blue footprints on the concrete. With each step, the prints were lighter, and so was her mood. She hoped Gizmo would be waiting for her at home. And that's right where Rosie found her. But she was not alone. Oh, I wonder who was with her. Oh my goodness. She has got a problem. That pump is a problem, but maybe she's got a solution from that little problem that just occurred. Good luck trying to figure out what you think might happen next.